The lecture hall fell silent, dead silent. You know that kind of silence that makes your scales itch? Yeah, that kind. Professor Velrik 9 stood at the podium, all 4 of his optical sensors focused on the holographic display floating above his cranial ridge. The image showed ruins. Ancient, crumbling, beautiful ruins of a civilization that had vanished 3,000 cycles ago. Standard archaeological presentation, really. Boring stuff for most students. As you can see, Velrik droned in that monotone voice that could put a caffeinated Zorjan to sleep. This species reached remarkable technological heights before their sudden extinction. We've cataloged approximately 7 billion individuals across their homeworld before the collapse. Yawn. I was 3 seats back, trying desperately to stay awake. My name's Crix, by the way. Just a regular student at the Galactic Institute of Xenoarchaeology, counting down the minutes until lunch. My tentacles were already reaching for my datapad to order something decent from the cafeteria when Velrik tapped his control device. The hologram shifted. New image? A photograph. An actual, genuine photograph from the dead civilization's archives. Some kind of ceremonial gathering, looked like. Lots of the bipedal creatures wearing strange fabric coverings, holding rolled documents, smiling with their weird teeth exposed. That's when things got interesting. 3 rows ahead, a student shot up from her seat so fast her chair clattered backward. The sound echoed through the hall like a gunshot. Every sensor, eye, and optical organ in the room swiveled toward her. "What?" she said, her voice climbing several octaves higher than normal. "What is that?" Velrik's sensors rotated toward her with obvious irritation. "Please, Miss Terra, control yourself. This is simply a recovered image from the species we're discussing today, commonly known as... Why are you showing my graduation photo?" The silence that followed could have been weaponized. I sat up straight. My lunch plans evaporated. Every student in that hall leaned forward simultaneously. Even Velrik's usually expressionless facial plates seemed to twitch with something that might have been confusion. "I'm sorry?" Velrik asked, his translation implant probably malfunctioning. Had to be. Terra, a relatively new transfer student I'd barely noticed before, was pointing at the hologram with a trembling appendage. She wasn't one of the usual species. I'd noticed that much. Bipedal. Oddly smooth skin. Only 2 optical sensors. Kind of pinkish in coloration. But I'd figured she was just from some remote colony world. Nothing special. Now she had everyone's attention. "That's my graduation photo," she repeated, her voice shaking. "From Earth. From my high school. That's me, right there. 3rd from the left, in the back row." Nervous laughter rippled through the hall. Had to be a joke, right? Some kind of prank? But Terra wasn't laughing. She was staring at that hologram like it had personally offended her entire genetic line. Velrik's sensors narrowed. "Miss Tara, I don't appreciate disruptions in my lectures." This photograph was recovered from archaeological sites on a planet designated as Terra 3, a world that suffered complete biosphere collapse approximately 3,000 standard cycles ago. The species depicted here has been extinct for 3,000 years? Tara's voice cracked. "I graduated 6 months ago." This was getting good. I canceled my lunch order completely. Velrik made that clicking sound he does when he's annoyed. "The mathematical calculations are quite precise, I assure you. Perhaps you're experiencing some form of psychological projection, seeing familiar patterns in..." "Professor?" Terra interrupted. And wow, she had guts. "I can name everyone in that photograph. That's my friend Maya. That's Carlos. That's my math teacher, Mr. Henderson standing in the back looking constipated like always. That's the gym behind us. The one with the broken scoreboard we kept complaining about." Several students pulled out their datapads, probably recording this for later. This was way better than actual class content. Velrik looked like he'd just been told his entire dissertation was written backward. "Impossible," he stated flatly. "Zoom in on the banner," Terra demanded. "The one behind us." Velrik hesitated, then manipulated the controls. The image expanded, focusing on a fabric banner hanging behind the group. Text appeared, blocky and clear, in that strange writing system the extinct species had used. Riverside High School, class of 2025. Tara read aloud, her voice getting higher with each word. That's English, Professor. My language, my school, my year. The lecture hall erupted. Students talking over each other, sensors whirring, translation implants working overtime. I heard someone mutter something about temporal anomalies. Another student suggested mass hallucination. Velrik held up his primary manipulator for silence, but his confident demeanor had cracked. Miss Tara, I think perhaps we should discuss this in my office. No. Tara grabbed her datapad, fingers flying across it. No, if that's Earth, if that's really Earth, then show us more. Show us the other images you've recovered. The cities, the landmarks, something? Smart. Really smart. I found myself leaning forward even more. Velrik looked trapped. He glanced around the lecture hall, probably calculating whether this was worth the administrative headache. Then, with visible reluctance, he pulled up another file. New holograms materialized. Dozens of them. Crumbling structures that Tara immediately identified. That's the Eiffel Tower. That's the Statue of Liberty. That's, oh stars, that's Times Square, but it's just rubble. Her voice broke. Actual tears started forming in her optical sensors, water leaking right out. Several students recoiled, not used to that particular stress response. My planet, she whispered. And that's when Professor Velrik said the words that made everything so much worse. Yes, your planet. Or rather, what remains of it. I'm very sorry, Miss Tara. But according to all our dating methods, Earth has been a dead world for 3 millennia. Whatever you think you remember about graduating 6 months ago is, frankly, impossible. You are standing in a lecture hall that exists in a timeline where your entire species has been extinct for longer than most civilizations have existed. Tara sat down slowly. Then she started laughing. Not happy laughing. The kind of laughing that makes your survival instincts kick in. The kind that says someone's brain just short-circuited hard. So, she said between gasps, let me get this straight. I'm from a dead planet. My species is extinct. But I'm here, alive, attending college like nothing's wrong? Apparently so, Velrik confirmed, looking deeply uncomfortable now. Tara's laughter stopped abruptly. Her face did something complicated. Then she looked straight at the professor with those 2 small optical sensors and asked the question that would change everything. Then who the hell brought me here, and what happened to everyone else? Nobody had an answer. But I had a very, very bad feeling about this. The administrative office of Dean Morpheus looked like someone had designed it specifically to make people uncomfortable. Too many angles. Lighting that flickered just enough to mess with your circadian rhythms. And that smell, like old documentation mixed with existential dread. Tara sat in the center chair, surrounded by 5 faculty members who all looked like they'd rather be anywhere else. I was there too, perched in the corner. Why? Because I'd made the brilliant decision to volunteer as a witness. Curiosity kills, they say. Apparently, it also gets you dragged into interdimensional incidents. Dean Morpheus, a blob-like creature with approximately 17 eye stalks, wiggled nervously. Miss Tara, I want to assure you that we take this situation very seriously. Do you? Tara's voice was ice-cold now. The crying had stopped about an hour ago. Now she just looked dangerous. Because from where I'm sitting, nobody seems to have noticed that they enrolled a student from an extinct species. That feels like a pretty big oversight, Dean. Fair point. Professor Velrik cleared his throat apparatus. In our defense, your application listed you as coming from Colony World Designation 7, Alpha. Your documentation was, well, it was perfect. Too perfect, perhaps. Show me, Tara demanded. They pulled up her admission file. I watched her face as she scrolled through it. Every line made her expression harder. Transcripts from schools that apparently didn't exist anymore. Recommendation letters from teachers who'd been dust for 3,000 years. A home address on a planet that was currently a radioactive wasteland. "This is my actual paperwork," she said quietly. "These are my real grades, my real teachers, my real address. Someone didn't forge this. They just, displaced it?" "The temporal mechanics would be extraordinarily complex," offered Professor Yith, the physics instructor. She was a crystalloid being who usually only spoke in mathematical equations. Her actually using words meant this was serious. To pull a single individual forward through time while maintaining biological integrity, consciousness continuity, and memory preservation, you'd need technology that surpasses anything in known space. Tara laughed again. That bad laugh from before. Great. Fantastic. So I'm not just a refugee from a dead world. I'm someone's science experiment. Nobody contradicted her. I raised one of my tentacles. Question? Has anyone checked whether there are other humans enrolled here? Like, is Tara the only one? Or is this a bigger situation? The silence that followed was deafening. Dean Morpheus's eye stalks all rotated toward his data console simultaneously. His manipulators flew across the controls with increasing speed. The color of his membrane shifted from green to a sickly yellow, which in his species meant approximately, "Oh no, oh no, oh no." "How many?" Tara asked, her voice barely a whisper. 47, the dean said finally. 47 students enrolled across various Galactic Institute campuses, all listed as being from Colony World 7, Alpha, all human. The room exploded with activity, faculty members shouting over each other. Someone knocked over a container of nutritional supplements. Professor Yith started writing equations in midair with her energy appendages, muttering about probability matrices and temporal extraction patterns. Tara just sat there, perfectly still. "We need to contact them," she said, cutting through the chaos. "Now, every single one. We need to know if they all think they just graduated, or if there's some other pattern." Smart. Still impressively smart under pressure. It took 42 minutes to establish communication links with all 47 human students scattered across 6 different campuses. They crammed us all into a conference room with a massive holographic display showing 46 other confused human faces. Well, 45 confused ones. One guy looked like he'd already figured it out and was just waiting for everyone else to catch up. That was Marcus, engineering student, sharp as broken glass. "Let me guess," he said before anyone else could speak. "Someone showed you pictures of Earth, told you it's been dead for 3,000 years, and now you're all having a collective crisis? You knew?" Tara's voice could have cut steel. "I figured it out 2 weeks ago," Marcus replied, shrugging. "Found a galactic database entry about extinct civilizations, saw some pictures of my hometown. Did the math. Honestly thought I was going crazy until now. Kind of relieved, actually." "Relieved?" A girl named Lisa, attending a campus 3 systems away, looked ready to explode. "How are you relieved? We're the last humans. Our families, our friends, everyone we knew is dead." "Are they, though?" Marcus leaned forward, and I could see that look in his eyes, the look of someone who'd been thinking about this for a while. Think about it. Someone went to enormous effort to pull exactly 47 humans out of Earth's timeline. Why that specific number? Why us specifically? And why place us all in academic institutions across the galaxy? Tara's eyes widened. "We're all students, all college-aged, all enrolled in advanced programs." "Exactly," Marcus said. "Physics, engineering, xenobiology, archaeology, linguistics. We're not random, we're selected." Professor Yith had stopped writing equations. He's correct. The probability of 47 random individuals from the same species, same approximate age range, same educational trajectory, all being coincidentally saved from a planetary extinction event is, well, it's essentially 0. "So what does that mean?" I asked. "Because someone had to." Tara stood up slowly. That look on her face, I'd seen it before. On soldiers, on hunters. On people who just decided that waiting around for answers wasn't good enough anymore. It means, she said carefully, that somewhere out there, someone or something decided humanity was worth saving. Just not all of us. Just 47. They plucked us from our timeline, gave us fake identities, enrolled us in schools, and apparently expected us to just, not notice? Maybe they expected it to take longer, Marcus suggested. I mean, if Velrik hadn't happened to show that specific photo in that specific lecture, then I might have gone my whole life not knowing, Tara finished. We all might have. We'd have just been weird aliens from some colony world nobody'd heard of, getting educated, integrating into galactic society, and never knowing everyone we loved was dust. The weight of that settled over the room like a physical thing. So what do we do? Lisa asked, her voice small. Tara looked around at all those faces on the holographic displays. 46 other humans, all displaced, all confused, all looking for answers. Then she looked at the faculty members, who suddenly seemed very interested in their datapads. We find out who did this, Tara said. We find out why. And we find out if anyone else made it out. Dean Morpheus made a sound like a balloon deflating. Miss Tara, I'm not sure that's advisable. If an entity with temporal manipulation technology of this magnitude wanted you to know their identity, I don't care what they want, Tara interrupted. They took everything from us. Our world, our timeline, our choice. The least they can do is face us and explain why. Marcus grinned. Actually grinned. I'm in. Anyone else? 46 voices answered in unison. Yes? And just like that, a dead species came back to life with a purpose. I watched it happen from my corner of the room, this moment of transformation. 47 confused students becoming something else, something focused, something potentially dangerous. Professor Velrik leaned over to me. This is going to be a disaster, isn't it? I thought about it. 47 humans, angry, brilliant, and motivated, with nothing left to lose and everything to prove. Species that had split atoms and walked on their own moon before most of the galaxy had invented the wheel. Yeah, this was going to be something all right. Probably, I said. But I really want to see what happens next. Because here's the thing about humans that I was just starting to understand. They were survivors. They were problem solvers. And they absolutely, positively did not accept mysteries without answers. Somewhere out there, whoever had saved them was about to get a very rude awakening. The dead had questions, and they were coming for answers.
So what did you think? Did this story surprise you? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this sci-fi story, please hit the like button. It really helps the channel grow. And don't forget to subscribe for more mind-blowing science fiction stories every week. Turn on the notification bell so you never miss an upload. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next story.